That's right back, Charlie.
People, deluded, I'm back again.
Come on, Ian, man. Come on. People, deluded, I'm back again. Thank you very much for tuning back in each and every time. I hope everyone's doing well and safe. I hope everyone's in good spirits. With it being Thursday and obviously the week coming to a close, I hope everyone's had a fantastic week. First and foremost, health is wealth. You ain't got health, you're dead. So I hope you and your loved ones have continued or better health. As I said, in relation to your goals, hopes, dreams, ambitions, aspirations, all of those good things, I hope this week has given you lot blessings. And if not, we go again. Please make sure you're hitting the like button. If you're on YouTube, Twitch gang, you're doing amazing. If you're on Twitch, make sure you're supporting the thing on YouTube, vice versa, the same. Make sure you've checked out the pin message, because our last game of the season, or Arsenal's last game of the season, on Sunday, I'll be live an hour before kickoff, 3 p.m. settings and all those things. And on that topic, I know I've been saying it a lot, but genuinely, however you've supported, whether you've watched all my watch-alongs or all my content or just started supporting throughout the season, obviously, thank you very much, man, as we're moving ever so closer to 50,000 on YouTube and aspiring to 10,000 and beyond on Twitch. Without you lot, it's not possible. So, yeah, thank you for you lot. Support DG Nation. Now, obviously, a lot of Arsenal stuff's come out. The kits have come out. I bought the home shirt. I think it's crap, but I bought it anyways. Dybala, Gabriel Jesus, all these guys that are Arthur Melo, dons who are not arriving to our club have been spoken of, people. So we'll go over the paper talk in just a second, people. Appreciative, as I said to you lot tuned in, and especially the Twitch gang, because it's been a big arcs this week, innit? Something went in my eye. Apologies. It's been a big arcs this week and today as well. Come on, man. Appreciate you lot. Come on, man. Large up yourselves, bro. That intro is gassing me. Scream. It's normal, man. It's normal. It's normal. I ain't gonna start. That's gonna get minted into an NFT. Listen, that needs to be shown at my funeral in a few years, is what I say. A few, by God's grace, man, live a long life. But you get the point. I don't get that one, but all right. Shout out to you. So yeah, man, big up you lot tuned in. You know. As I said, any questions, talking points, all those things, feel no sort of way. Apologies for running the show later than usual. Obviously, a couple things to do. You know, I do normally do the show on Twitch with Rants and Matisse. Shout out to them. If you don't know, make sure you're following them. But yeah, Rants has things to do, so we had to reschedule, and we rescheduled, didn't it? But I'm still here. Pardon me. I make no excuses, you know. Sorry, people. One sec. So, yeah, it is what it is, man. We're going to get into it in just a second, people. Yes, DG, doing your thing. Let's go with the chat. Come on, come on. Do you know what? Why waste any time in it? Appreciative to you lot. I don't know if I've made it clear, but good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and in some cases, good night. I hope everyone's doing well and safe. So, yeah, why waste time, man? Let's open up this. Well, you lot will see in a sec. Let's make a timestamp. Let's call that 4:20. Martinelli did grab himself the number 11. You know, it's nice to see new number 11, new number 10, new number 7. When my new number 11 and my recently turned number 7 are concerned, hopefully you lot signed the thing in it. You're contracted until 2024. Hopefully extended terms are offered and signed. It goes without saying I extend that to Saliba as well, man. Hi, DG. Looking forward to the show and finally getting over them 2 defeats. I don't know if we're going to get over it, Scott, but I appreciate your support, and it is what it is. Winning, losing, drawing comes with the game as being a football fan, or specifically an Arsenal fan. I always say, personally, I can accept losing and drawing beyond the obvious and evident disappointment. For me, 9 times out of 10, it's how we lose. It's the manner. And when I mean by that, if you lose to City, like I'd say our best defeat this season is probably City, and to a degree Liverpool in the cup, or whatever game we kind of held it up. other than that, we're capitulating. You know, again, if I say Crystal Palace, Nottingham Forest, Newcastle recently, unfortunately Spurs recently, you know, Everton for me, very frustrating defeats. Brighton as well. You know, we're cheating ourselves. You know, again, all I ask is that my team give their maximum. If the other 11 players or if the other sets of players win, what can you say? You lot were the better men. But 9 times out of 10, take nothing away from Eddie Howe, from Conte, from Vieira, from whoever Nottingham Forest gaffer is, etc., etc. We're cheating ourselves. So yeah, man, we have to. With time comes a healer. I won't say Arsenal. Some Arsenal fans are not done healing with the disappointment of probably not qualifying for the Champions League. I say probably because tiny 1% hope that Norwich can do their thing, Spurs be Spursy, and we can do ours. But yeah, man, it's too late. It's gone in. It was in our hands. We fumbled it really and truly. Chocolate teapot settings. We have to learn from this. For the players, I would say, remember this disappointment. Remember how it felt to kind of, I won't say claw your season back, but you went from relegated to articles and pundits couldn't stop praising Arsenal, acting like everything is different. And then remember how it feels to see these articles turn negative. Remember how it feels to cheat yourselves. Because some of you have never played in Champions League. Some of you will never play in Champions League, at least while you're here. You let yourselves down. Remember how that feels and go on and do better things next year. So anytime Arteta is asking you to do something or you don't feel like putting things in, there's this. I made a big song and dance all season about the feeling of regret because I knew we'd find ourselves in this position where, as poor as we might have been and cheating live getting in the Champions League, we're not in the Champions League because of ourselves. No one else. We let ourselves down. That's why I'm not with this relying on other teams. We let ourselves down. We could have cheated the game whether we deserve it or not. Yeah, it might have been a false position like when United finished second one time, but at the same time, the table doesn't lie, you know. It is what it is. In terms of, I do think there's a lot of improvements. I think we've improved defensively a little bit, but then I can't give you any evidence because we're shipping goals, we're still making mistakes. I think we have improved going forward, but we're struggling for goals. I think there is a bit more grit, heart, and determination. But when things go wrong, it's not shown. You know, we statistically, obviously, it's literally all or nothing. We either win or draw. I mean, win or lose, sorry. We don't really draw this season. And when we've gone behind, there's not too many times we've come back in the game. When you look at teams around us, they've done that. So these are things for these young players to learn. Even the topic of young and youth and all of these things. Yeah, they're still young, but a lot of the mistakes we make, it's not because you're young or it's not because you're naive or not because of this and that. We're just doing stupid things. And for me, I know these players want to improve. I think they've bought into what Arteta is doing, but I need to see more drive because a mistake made more than once is a choice. Certain people are choosing to make the same defensive lapses. Certain people are not improving in certain aspects. That goes for the coaching staff, the manager, and obviously the players as well. So they need to pattern up really and truly. It's as simple as that. You know, you let yourselves down. Some of you lot could have, you know, you got to go again. Top 6 was probably specifically 5th, 6th was probably the aspiration at the start of the season, probably where we're just about. End of the day, as the champs, but there's that, we're in that. And there's a lot to learn, even for Mikel Arteta. Game management, man management, squad management. I like Arteta, but I don't really have confidence in your ability to navigate fixture pile-ups and losing battles, but not wars. And I think you've shown me when we needed to bounce back immediately against Brighton. You showed me you kind of let us down there. I think we still can't break down low blocks. I look at the Burnley game and I look at Newcastle and Spurs. I don't think you set us up right away from home. Take nothing away from these players. We win, lose, or draw together. I don't like how people just blame the manager or just blame the players according to whether we've won, lost, or drawn. But we all know football, all clubs are agenda driven. Clearly in the summer, we need to do a lot in it. Like, we need to do a lot. It goes without saying, if we're not bringing in a midfielder and a striker, then forget everything. Respectfully, if we're still relying on the midfield pivot of Xhaka and Partey, no disrespect, you know, the only thing I can belittle Partey with is I need to know you can consistently stay fit. Same with Tierney. Xhaka, I think you've had a better season than people giving you credit for. I think you've been one of our better players, but at the end of the day, it's always going to breed mixed results. It's just not quite levels in it. The midfield hasn't transformed. Even if you go back to last season, how much did we really improve the spine of the team without addressing midfield? I said it last summer. One reason I was really optimistic last summer, we didn't end up getting him, but there was rumours of Locatelli and Xhaka leaving. Now, I don't mind if Xhaka stays or goes. The only reason I kind of wanted him to go is because there's clearly some quality because every manager's bet on him, but maybe that's why they failed. Xhaka would have forced Arteta to sign a new midfielder because for me, Our midfield, listen, strikers win games. We don't really have strikers that are winning us games. Defense wins you titles or makes the difference. We ain't really got the strongest of defense. You know, again, you've seen it all. It's a midfield battle game in, game out. And I look at our midfield. We ain't got the Wenger midfield where it's just bare technicians in there can play football. We ain't got that. We ain't got no thugs in the midfield, physical, dominating presence that we're just gonna just be onto them. You ain't got none of that. And when you ain't got that, it's a myth, people. We ain't got creative done. So you're not going to see Martin Odegaard in the 10, Xhaka, Martinelli, Smith Rowe, this new striker. They're not, until we improve that midfield and start wanting to pass the ball forward. It's a myth, really and truly. I think we need to revamp that midfield. I do think there's many different forms of defending and managing a game. The obvious defending, but how you hold on to the ball, how you manage the game, how you keep little things ticking. I don't think we've got a good enough midfield pivot. I don't think we've got enough midfield options. We'll touch on Lokonga. I like Lokonga, but he's raw, untested, and really you've got to give them sort of guys scope to make mistakes. Xhaka is mixed results. We've been here in it. In 1 month he's the guy, the other month he's public enemy number one in it. Thomas Partey, the only thing I can criticize him for is the fitness, really and truly. I think we need, again, my chest is high as an Arsenal fan. Can you afford that? But I genuinely think I would hope for one midfielder. I genuinely think you need 2 or 3. I think we need another number 6. Okay, cool. And then they might stay for another year or so. You got Lokonga there, but if you could go and grab Basuma, I think that's a significant step in the right direction. And then you need to go and get these Neveses, these Arthur Melos, these Telemans, these guys that want the ball consistently, not players that do the one diag pass and we can remember it in the game. We need to see that 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 times a game, really and truly. Until we get into that scenario, it's a myth. And I can't lie to you, that was the one thing that I was happy about Mikel Arteta coming to this club, because I thought, obviously, you played under Wenger. You are a midfielder. You was at La Masia. You've played for PSG. You've been around what Mikel Arteta, what City's doing, Mikel Arteta in his post-playing career. So I thought, all right, you're going to pattern the midfield. And I think when you look at it, yeah, we can comment up front. We can talk about defense. But I'd say midfield is the one big question mark, at least with Martinelli's emergence, Saka's emergence, Smith Rowe, Odegaard playing in the 10. At times, Lacazette, Eddie Nketiah, I'm reaching a bit, but there's some little ingredients there going on, sort of thing. Or there was at a time anyways. Defensively, whether we like it or not, there's been some willingness to revamp that. We spent 50 million on Ben White, whether you like it or not. Tomiyasu's come into the club. Tierney's there. Gabriel's there. Saliba ain't been given a chance, but if he is, you get it. Ramsdale, it goes without saying, that back 5, but midfield, I ain't really seen that. And you signed Lokonga, he was always going to come and be a rotation squad option sort of guy. So there's not really been that transformative figure either to partner Partey or replace Partey or take us up another level. And the same goes for Granit Xhaka. The midfield pivots ain't enough. Like, you look at, obviously, for the obvious reasons, we're not City, we're not Liverpool, but look at the different things they can put together. They can play that, and they can adjust their game accordingly. They got Henderson, they got Milner, they got Fabinho, they got Thiago, who's obviously all of them the most techiest. There's different sort of ways they can manage a game of football and do certain things. We ain't got that, and there's too much of a drop off, really and truly. So it's a bit of Arteta, bro, Edu, you was a midfielder. You was in the invincible side. So Arteta has seen the more artistry sort of guys at Arsenal. I'm not going to lie. Obviously, we can't buy Patrick Vieira, but Edu, you saw Patrick Vieira, Gilberto, these sort of guys. Bro, the midfield, I can't accept it, really and truly, if I'm completely honest with you. What are you lot saying before we, there's no rush to get into the transfer. Smash the like button. You lot are in top form. I thought Guendouzi was going to flourish under Arteta. Big personality and always wanted the ball, but it wasn't to be. Couldn't behave himself in it. And Arteta has shown it's almost, I won't say one strike and you're out, but he was someone that was already earmarked. So his days were kind of numbered. And when I look back in time, maybe the same fate was with Aubameyang, because he was captain. You signed a new deal. We can't act like that he was always a dismissive figure. But do you remember when Arteta first walked in? He said he kind of thought that he had a preconception of Aubameyang. So with that, it's already in the back of your mind. So in hindsight, could we have foresaw that this was happening? And obviously, I do think Mikel Arteta can manage big personalities. I do think he's shown good man management, but at the same time, I can't really give you real views with that. And it's all fun and games when Aubameyang's form makes it that everyone's going to agree with him coming out the team to go with at a time Lacazette, the young players were overperforming. It's very easy because, you know, Guendouzi's not everyone's cup of tea. Mesut Ozil the same. It's very easy to rub these guys out. When it's your main striker, your main midfielder, when it's these sort of guys, it's a myth. And obviously, 9 times out of 10, these players that we want at our clubs, let's be honest, they're difficult characters. Kylian Mbappe is clearly a difficult character. Neymar, difficult character. Lionel Messi, difficult character. We're not going to get these guys, but you get the point. Vieira, Henry, difficult characters. Many different variations of it. And if they're not difficult characters, they're maverick. You can't really, you got to manage the Alexis as well. You got to manage them you can't give people preferential treatment, but you've kind of got, you can't really maneuver how you would maneuver with other players. And sometimes you got to play you got to lose battles to win the war. And Arteta, you know, I don't think you and Aubameyang started beefing over. Nah, I want to know what happened, but these are little things, man. You know, Arteta's no different. We talk about the players needing to improve and do things. He's no different. 171 of you tuned in on YouTube. 50 likes. Come on, people. What's all that about? What's all that about? Twitch gang, you're doing amazing. So, yeah, man, it is what it is. Kit's looking okay, but not repping. Our club has to do better. Bro, I bought the kit, man. It is what it is. Arteta's got to learn to deal with people who push back because, as you said, that's what makes them special players. And again, you know, obviously, if you're a manager in a workplace, you can't just sack off everyone and maneuver certain sort of ways. You've got to be able to realize, okay, he's a prick. I hate him. He hates me, but I know how to make him tick, sort of thing. I look at my old manager in Sunday League, Darren. Like, he's probably the biggest reason to go with Arsene Wenger why I'm sitting here, because I can remember the eureka moment of football making sense to me. But I thought he was a prick. He probably was a prick. You know, he was a prick at times. I hated him at times. But then again, you see why he does certain things. And he was actually very good in man management. You know, like, I was a difficult character to manage. Like, I'm very opinionated, want to fight the world and shit. Like, it's crazy, man. Appreciate you for tuning in, Rochelle, Bradley, and Trailer Park TV. DG, do you please, if we sign Arthur Melo, is there something on him what you don't like? He plays one too many sideways passes, in my opinion. But I like the way he holds on to the ball. He tries to, you know, that's a form of defense. I'm taking him. We just need midfielders that can do the basics. Of course, I want transformative figures, but too many of our midfielders are scared. Like, they'll get caught in possession once and they're not doing it again. Like, I like El Nene, but I think El Nene is quite cowardly when it comes to being on the ball. He stands in between, like against Newcastle. There's 4 Newcastle players. He's standing in, like, if you imagine 1, 2, 3, 4, stands in front of them and asks for the ball. You know you're not going to get the ball. You're not even doing the trust me thing. You genuinely don't want the ball. It's a myth. On one hand, I think if we get a 20 league goal striker, we could have scumbagged fourth. But at the same time, a part of me thinks, bro, until we try to pattern how we create chances, whoever goes up front, you're just going to be running around for the sake of it, man. As an Arsenal fan, I'm disappointed. But if you would have said to me before game 1, 5th place, take it or leave it, I would have ripped your hand off. I would have as well. But in a season, the goalposts shift, though. Which is true, man. I would have taken it. So it's something to build upon. You know, it would have been a dream getting 4th, but, you know, it can be a sweet dream or a beautiful nightmare. I have to bring that one back, man. That Beyonce song springs to mind when I see that, man. DG seems like the type of player to score a brace and take a red in the same game. Probably, bro. Like, yeah. Yeah, man. Don't like, yeah, man. That's me all over. Volatile character still, man. Ainsley Maitland-Niles, Guendouzi, Torreira, Aubameyang, Arteta devalued these players bad. Unfortunately, part of the game could be on these players also. But as a manager, he could have handled all a lot better. To be fair, Ainsley, I think you devalued yourself. Torreira, I think he could have used him, but Torreira didn't want to be here. Aubameyang, I can't give you an answer what happened there. Guendouzi, he was starting him against City. You couldn't behave yourself in Dubai. He got pissed off. Of course, you want to see more resolution, more conflict resolution between the manager, but I can see both sides of the environment of the argument. I don't think it's a thing where Arteta, all these players are squeaky clean. What I would say is that rap sheet is quite long from Arteta, and it's always the good ballers you're beefing. You're not beefing the Cedrics and the Bellerins and all these sort of guys, really, if I'm completely honest with you, man. It's crazy. It's crazy. I love Kakare, but he signed a new deal, innit? But Arsenal fans are shameless. They said El Nene played better than Partey's been. But even that, Partey's, you know, he patterned up after giving himself a 4 out of 10, but something's gone on. I'm not a medical man as well, but I think we need to look at what we're doing in terms of players rehab, keeping them fit and managing their workload. And also, for me at Arsenal, it's like we sign players, maybe not so much last season, but it's like we sign players and we don't know how we're using them. It's like, well, Partey, you're a good player, release clause, let's get him, and then we figure it out. Pepe, for all his problems, I think I would say the same. Aubameyang, despite the fact of he's one of our best Emirates era signings and he scored a lot of goals, I've always said, like, we never really gave Aubameyang service, and I always said it was almost like a miracle he's scoring all these goals. So it's like we signed these dons and we just figure it out later, really. It's only really this season even that you can really see how Odegaard fits a piece to the puzzle for all his quality as well, if I'm completely honest with you, man. Smash the like button if you haven't already. Top four, Arsenal's top four hope is over, mark my words. Anthony, never knew that. That's such a groundbreaking discovery, bro. Serious. He likes telling kids what to... And to be honest with you, obviously... Let's be a bit serious. Arteta ain't really got clout in the footballing world for all the potential and that you ain't done it, you know. So I can understand why it might be easier. Like how a team's meant to be a reflection of the manager. None of our footballers have achieved anything. Obviously, you know, they have, but they're nobodies in football, you know. It's Xhaka, all these guys, they're not household names like that. So I can understand why he might lean towards them. If he says run 5 laps, they might not ask why and whatnot. I don't know. But saying that, some experienced players have been on side, man. None of the players who have been moved out other than Aubameyang have done anything since they've got moved. To be fair to you, you know, Saliba's going to become a French international. Same with Guendouzi. Who else has been moved out? Ainsley ain't done nothing. But you're right. Still, I'd say Saliba and Guendouzi having whatever capacity they've gone. I think that one there's a bit wrong, if I'm honest with you. Aubameyang's going and playing Champions League and scored 11 goals as well. So it is what it is, man. Love for the super chat. Oh, well. You know, he's getting on to me. DG, what are you on about? Torreira, player of the month, Guendouzi, French team, Ainsley, Maitland-Niles, and Reece Nelson. Aubameyang said he only had a problem with Mikel Arteta. He's an egomaniac who he thinks he's Pep without. Love for the super chat, but I don't think you're listening, man. It's vital in life to listen. What are you talking about? I don't know what that means or what you're specifically picking apart, but Torreira wanted to go. I don't know why he rubbed him out, but he wanted to go. It's documented. Torreira wasn't happy in this country, so he kept it moving. You know, none of you are bigger Guendouzi fans than me. You can go and check my video when he was at Lorient. You know, none of you could talk to me about that. You're forcing it with Ainsley and Nelson, if I'm honest with you. Ainsley wanted to keep it moving, even though he probably should have stayed for the squad. Reece Nelson couldn't buy game time, so he needed to. Forcing it a bit. Love for the super chat, but I don't know what specific point of what I said you're picking apart. You're probably just chatting for the sake of chatting, my dude. But love for that regardless. And I've probably just answering the question. Just from that, I've probably just answered what that was. But fair enough, man. He might be. Bellerin wanted to keep it moving. It's just a knock-on effects. Who said Aubameyang is a bum? Oh, fair enough, man. I don't know where you lot are confusing me, man. It's a nice day, man. What I would say is open the windows and let's listen, man. Let's listen. I would hear the ego thing if you're making these players who you're keeping improving at rapid rates like Klopp, but that's not happening either. That's the thing. As much as I like what Arteta is doing and not doing, like I'm a fan of Arteta and the club, but you know, it's not Arteta will die trying. It does feel like you've got to be this mad genius to see what Arsenal. I do think good things are being done in terms of the foundation, specifically on the pitch. I think you've got to be some mad footballing genius or they make out to know what we're doing. And football's not Formula One. There's no pit tire changes and all them things. If you're meant to be an attacking manager, I might need to see players, third man runs, 1-2s, all of this. If you're a defensive manager, Dons need to be able to defend. I don't really know what it is. Football's only complicated by idiots. And I think it's too difficult. You know, you can show me all the heat maps about Tomiyasu goes into midfield, the left back goes here, this guy drops, Martinelli and Xhaka do this. You can obviously see it, but if you can't show it to a 5-year-old, it's dead, really. You know, as complicated as Pep makes it, you can see what the football's about. As intricate as Klopp's football is, you can see what it's about. 9 times out of 10, Trent, Robertson, you man create the thing. You know, it's as simple as that. I don't see none of this. Another annoying part is a lot of Arsenal fans will now use hindsight with Aubameyang and now Saliba when they forgot about what was happening when they were here. with Arsenal both wanted to go. Saliba needed growth. Do you know, I wanted Saliba to stay. I didn't understand not registering him in the Europa League. I didn't understand when Mustafi and these sort of guys are getting more opportunities. But I did think there was an avenue to loan him out. I do think people look at things with rose tints. 260 locked in, 79 likes. So yeah, man. I mean, every manager's got an ego, but you got to be humble, man. Like, you know, you can slap people on the wrist, but it shouldn't kill their chances. Like, I remember Alexis Sanchez and Wenger, he was acting up. I think we played Liverpool or something. He's left Alexis on the bench. He came off the bench, and the next week it patterned up, really. Deluded Gooner, what pees me off is this current Arsenal fan base know nothing about George Graham. You think my man would put up with Ozil, Ainsley Maitland-Niles, Guendouzi, soft mentality of the fans? I don't know anything, man. Do you keep Xhaka? I keep Xhaka, but come on, man. You can't, like, it can't be thingy, bro. I didn't say he's a good man manager. I said I think he's shown good examples and bad examples of man management. You know, there's no way you can, as I actually said, you know, Mikel Arteta has made mistakes as well. Please, if you're going to criticize me, as I always say, one of my pet peeves is by all means criticize me, but criticize me for the actual thing I have said, not what you think I've said. It's vital in life to listen. You've got two of these, one of them. Let's use the ratio correctly. Thank you very much. Do you keep Xhaka? For me, he blows hot and cold again. Hot and cold results. He should be in the squad. This is the thing Arsenal do. We take guys that there might be strikers who are half decent in the squad. We go and try and make them the main men, or we over rely on certain young players and don't equip them with, when the inevitable loss of form happens, other people pick up the pace. Simple as that, man. I mean, I think the home kit's the worst of the free kits that are allegedly coming out, but yeah, I bought it, innit? So when it comes, we'll do a review on my channel, innit? Partey won't be available for the last game of the season. I think we all knew that. You can't always manage with an iron fist, especially in today's day and age where player power is probably the most high. Maybe back in the days of George Graham and things like that, you could chat a certain sort of way and whatnot. You can't really do that. And I think you've got to be able to decipher what players. There's some players you can say you're fucking shit and they won't take that to heart. There's certain players that will kill their confidence. Certain players that will invite conflict. There's certain players that just need an arm around their shoulder. Now, I'm not going to lie. I hate them sort of players now. As much as I'm a Wenger baby and things like that, I need players that are a bit resolute. With every good game, you don't think you're better than you are. With every bad game, you don't think you're terrible in it. You just, if you played rubbish, you played rubbish. If you played good, you played good. I don't really like this whole, you got to, you know, I wouldn't say insecurities, but this whole insecure thing where you have to keep reminding someone they're good. I don't think you've got time for that at big clubs, really. If I'm completely honest with you. Neither Reece and Ainsley have shown that they're good enough to play. Torreira wasn't technical enough, so he wasn't played, and he wanted to move on. I mean, to be honest, I hear you, Hugh, but could you really sit here and say Torreira isn't technical enough and El Nene is? I think that's a lie, slyly, innit? You know, really and truly, if I'm completely honest with you. Aubameyang may have been playing crap, but form is temporary, class is permanent. We've seen that with other players, you know. I think even with Aubameyang, we probably would have struggled for fourth. But if you can't bring in a striker, keep the guy that you committed big money on, innit? Did he do it or the club win a trophy? Fair enough. Seriously, likes. Oh, sorry, we've already seen that. I'm trying to make sure I don't miss anything out. Ainsley, Guendouzi, Torreira, Oba, the attitude and work rate has improved since these bums left. We should stop idolizing players that don't care about Arsenal. We should stop making general statements. One thing we can't say is that none of these players cared. Aubameyang definitely cared about the club. One thing I've liked with players going is there has been more togetherness, but what we can't sit here and do is laud Arteta for getting rid of these players and not consider the consequences. And what we can't do is advocate he should have kept them. The truth is in the middle. You can't waffle about saved wages. We shouldn't have got into that reality, but the knock-on effect cost us. You know, we can't, there's no way you can just criticize Arteta or just act like he's some messiah thing, really. It's not. Would you say Odegaard hasn't adjusted to the Prem? I think he has. I just don't think he gets it physically enough yet. I think he's got to look at David Silva and Bernardo Silva, people that are probably the same sort of stature. You can get with it. I do think Arsenal do this thing where the players that are not involved is always the messiah in that. But yeah, man. Interesting comments. You would think I'm Arteta the way some of you are attacking me, man. El Nene wasn't being played when Torreira was first dropped. I know, but you're saying Torreira wasn't technical enough. If Torreira, if Torreira's not technical enough and El Nene is technical enough and he's playing today, what does that say? You can't really sit here and say Torreira is not technical enough for an Arteta team and El Nene is. The time scale they're playing is really irrelevant. In fact, it's even more irrelevant if some buts are not facts. But if Partey doesn't get injured, we don't have this conversation about El Nene because he won't be playing. So I'm not really sure. And that's the point I'm making. Like, you can't really herald it as some managerial masterclass and you can't criticize it. For me, I would have loved Torreira to stay in the squad. He didn't want to be in the country. Obviously, unfortunately, there was things going on in his personal life. He didn't adjust. It's well documented. He didn't adjust to the life off the field. The manager had half-hearted stuff. I would actually, listen, we could do a lot worse than Torreira in the squad. But again, this is where we can't necessarily use it with praising Arteta or criticizing him. So the timescale's a bit irrelevant. He's playing under Mikel Arteta now. Being a good guy and all these things are great, but I don't know. Fans don't understand. Vieira was even on joining Man United once. Always used to act up, fam. Always used to act up. Always used to act up. Difficult personalities. Man, think Tony Adams and all these guys are easy personalities. They're big characters. It's just how you manage it. And it's obviously different, but you get the point. But obviously, and that's probably one reason as to why Arteta's still in his job. I don't think he's lost the players yet. That's unfortunately where Emre, for whatever reason, went wrong. Make no mistake, them players are wrong. When I'm hearing they're taking a piss out of him and talking behind his back and whatnot, that's dead. Torreira moving like he wants to come back now. I see the little Bansies running about who's got my number now. Brazy. DG out of Ainsley, Torreira, Guendouzi. Who you keeping? Well, Guendouzi's already irrelevant because it's been confirmed he will be a permanent Marseille player. I'd rather keep Torreira. I think there's a use for Torreira, but again, the man don't want to be here, bro. Mikel for the good change to the culture and improve the squad with coaching, but problems would be his inexperience and making moves that doesn't make sense. Tomiyasu at left back for Tottenham. Again, he's made mistakes, unnecessarily complicating things at times. There's that for one, but leaving as poor as Holding and Cedric have to take responsibility because we're all in control of ourselves, but they're exposed. Limited players, shit players are exposed. It could have been a back three and we could have been better. The Brighton game, we've got a problem at left back. So for whatever reason, Xhaka's gone to left back and then it's Odegaard, Smith-Rowe and Lokonga as our midfield. These sort of unnecessary things. I like these sort of things, but the players' IQ and their ability isn't there yet. And to a degree, I think Arteta needs to accept you're not at, he knows, but you're not at City. You need to, at some point, you need to adjust to the players you've got. Now, I think Conte, for example, is playing the exact football he wants to at Spurs. But let's just say, humour me, people, and say he wanted to play even more defensively. And he recognises that some of these guys are shit. Maybe he's found a middle ground where, okay, cool. This is you lot's level. I think some of these players, they don't like our number 8s are not finished articles in number 8s and every other position. So if you haven't looked down one thing, you can't really do other things to a good example. We all win, lose and draw together, mate. To be fair, it's well documented. Arsenal have a lot of sports psychiatrists from academy level to first team, and Arteta does do a lot of work around the mentality, but the players have to make peace with that as well, man. Arteta made mistakes. Let's give him a chance to improve and learn from his mistakes. That's all I can say. I'll judge you next season. Unpopular opinion, I will judge you this season, today, whatever. Just like with the players. You have, he signed a new deal. He's here, innit? But that doesn't mean just shutting up. I don't like all of that. We have to talk about stuff because if we were sitting here gassing up, getting top 4, nobody would say any of that. If the players are getting critiqued, the manager has to get critiqued as well. You can't have it both ways. You can't say he has all this potential, but when things go well, praise the guy and not ask any questions. He's nowhere near Klopp and Pep. If Pep fucks up the Champions League, getting into the final or the league, there's question marks. Klopp the same. You can't have it both ways. If he was a shit guy, then I'm not going to ask anything. You can't have it both ways. If Gundogan was on it, but yeah, it's a myth, man. It's probably American Gooner, so shout out to him for gifting you that sub. One love to the Twitch gang. I'd rather let Edu play than get Arthur. Sensible questions only, man. Come on. Overdoing it. Have you seen our midfield? How old is Melo? Google it. I just haven't seen heart from the team last 2 games. Fingers crossed they showed us something. They show us something in the last game. Big words from you, DG, brother. We'll have to see. Please stop spamming. I block spammers, man. Do we need competition for Odegaard? I mean, I'm always open to competition and improving, but unless there's a sick number 10 on the books about, I'm kind of happy with Smith Rowe and Odegaard. I'd rather creativity be introduced via a number 8 in that pivot or a couple of them and a striker, obviously, and I do think there needs to be a lot in terms of coaching because we've got better. I wouldn't say better attackers, but Martin Odegaard, Smith Rowe, Saka, Odegaard's there. Martinelli, there's decent little options. Defense is not all the way there yet, but there's some building blocks. But once the ball goes into that middle third, it's a myth. We're not going to be a better defensive side until that midfield improves. We're not going to be a better side, in terms of scoring goals until that midfield improves. Our first attacker is Ramsdale. As you saw against Newcastle, did we look like we wanted to score? My man Ramsdale was forced to boot the ball long because no one's sharing for it. Our first defender is our attack. Have you seen? At times our press has been perfect, but 9 times out of 10, it's one man pressing. We all see Odegaard, and then it's too easy. They just like Newcastle, just boom, 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 pass through it like a game of chess. Until the team looks like a proper functional unit, we're going to breed mixed results. Some weeks we're going to look better than others. Some weeks we're going to go through better form than others. But fundamentally, when it's crunch time, we're going to be probably having competitions like this. Conversations, apologies, just like this. So, yeah, man. Playing devil's advocate, but as Xhaka said, we didn't follow the gaffer's plans. Is that sort of losing the dressing room? You could be, but it's stupidness. Again, if you didn't follow his plans, then there's obviously been that at times in Arteta's defense. How many times is one thing Arteta's not telling them to do is tell Cedric or Holding to do their foolishness, or several others, or Xhaka against City, for example. If you didn't follow the manager's tactics, you're either pussies because you were scared. Honestly, I think we was a bunch of pussies at St. James's Park. I think Dons were scared. I'd rather see Dons try a thing and make a mistake, because at the end of the day, it's football, innit? Mistakes happen, Again, mentally, you need to check yourselves. And I have to say, maybe that comes down to intelligence then, from youngest to oldest. If you can't take the manager's tactics and whatnot, there's issues. And for Arteta, I mean, this ain't the first time we're having these sort of conversations. If players are incapable of following your instructions, it's them or you, because some of these players will survive your tenure. You need to clip them out of the team then. As I said, it's an everyone thing. But yeah, you could say that. There's been times Arteta clearly could have been fired for less, bro. Someone said you can't judge our. Someone said you can't. Somebody said you can't judge our. It can't be judging next season, every season. That's true. You're bright, cuz don't shut me down like that, brother. What are you talking about? You're asking me questions you can Google, bro. It's not shutting you down. I'm saying Google it. Like, you're asking me his age. What's your thoughts on Jesus? Bring him to the carpet, but we're hearing that it's too expensive now. To be fair, it was a COVID market, so I could understand Arsenal being in a volatile position last summer, why they committed to just kind of getting a guaranteed fee for Mavropanos and Guendouzi. But again, that's maybe where we've shown our inexperience, because we're getting like 9 million for Guendouzi, becoming a French international, playing a lot of times. You might have got, I don't know, but you might have got 18 now. Someone might have said, we'll give you 18 million, his contract's running down. Mavropanos, they're going to make a decent change on him as well. It is what it is, and this is where Edu needs to learn, because again, if you leave, what is your legacy? You ain't really done that, and like we already know we're very slow to bring in certain players, and we don't make money when it comes to selling. Like, whether Eddie Nketiah is gonna have or was gonna have a future at this club is another thing, but he should be tied down. We shouldn't be talking about a new deal now. He should be tied down. Hey, Len, not every player is gonna come through and make peace. People need to be sold. Again, I can't remember if Edu was there at the time, to be honest with you folks. But, there was a time, did we not have 20 million pound offers from Everton and Wolves for Ainsley Maitland-Niles? We keep doing this thing where someone's going to leave, they're going to leave, they're going to leave. They play well in a game or two, and then the narrative changes. And you could see a bunch of those throughout the squad. People will lie to themselves about, no, Lacazette shouldn't get a new deal. I never said that. You go a few months back, all the fans were saying that he works hard, he knows the club, BS, etc., etc. The same is said for El Nene, where these guys are not bad guys, and I'm not saying they can't be part of the squad, but when it comes down to it, Dons are going to show you their level, bro. They're going to show you their level. That's not me trying to criticize them. Like, the journey we want to go in, not everyone can come on this journey. I always give the example. If I managed Fulham and I got promoted out of the Championship to the Premier League, big up to everyone who's been part of it. There might have even been a centre-back who's played a key part. He might even be my captain. But I might have to say, yo, sorry, the level to the Prem, I need someone better than you. We can't, not everyone can come along. It's not Disney Channel. I mean, bro, I tried to tell them time is a man-made concept. There's never enough time as a manager, you know. And this whole playing one game a week shenanigans was always going to be a myth. But you say something enough times, it sounds logical. DG, what's the biggest change that needs to happen next season, practically considering our limitations of shite holders, technical directors, and under-experienced skilled managers? But we need to show more bottle in it. You need to score more goals, keep more clean sheets, show more bottle in periods, you know. Stop cheating yourselves. We can see too many cheap goals. Mentally, we're not really the football's more mental than people want to give it credit for, but we're not in check mentally. You look at when we score goals, we concede almost straight after. We concede at the edge of half time. We concede at volatile moments. You know, conceding happens in football. You're not going to keep 38 clean sheets in the Prem, but that reacting to setbacks, that resilience, that headspace, that sometimes you start a game bad and you have to forgive yourselves. Sometimes you see a couple of players on it, but a couple of players are looking at other guys, a couple of people are hiding, etc. It's very easy to play when everything's going right. It's very easy when everything's positive. When things are going negative, when you're playing a buzzing team like Newcastle, when you know you're up against it, that's when you see it. You know, how you gonna? You're only gonna know your best at your worst. Your team is as strong as the weakest, man. If you're a swimmer and if you're a grown man or woman and you're swimming in the paddling pool, bro, you don't know if you're a good swimmer or not, because you can stand up in it. If you get thrown into some harsh seas, or you get thrown into the deep end of a swimming pool, now we're gonna see, because literally best example, because it's sink or swim, is it not? You're gonna show us you can do the breaststroke, and I can swim, boy, but yeah, you get the point. So that's it, really. But the thing is, I'm not being funny. We win, lose, and draw the same way. In many ways, the way we excluding the evident differences, we played the same way in the victories against West Ham United, Man United, and Chelsea as we did in the 2 defeats. But people don't care when you win, because people just, it's all calm. Some of these mistakes Ramsdale and Ben White and Gabriel and Xhaka and Martinelli and all these young players have been there when we've won games. The problem is no one cares when you win. It's only when things are going negative, people want to harp on and waffle about things, or just see what it is. Arsenal's a mixed bag as a club. Like, as you can see, half of the players are hot and cold. 372 of you locked in. We've only got 107 likes, man. We must come back to 200. What's going on there? We need to improve physically as well. Are we ready for Champions League football? Ready or not, that needs to be what you're doing, innit? Not going to lie, I'm impressed with Arteta. I reckon he's also almost there. The issue is dropping Deadwood. Tactically, although stubborn, I think his learning curve is bright. I hope so, because at the end of the day, we're Arsenal Football Club, you know. We're not Arteta FC. It's not Arteta or die. We can't just, well, that's Chelsea's problems as well. We can't deal with what other teams are doing. We just have to take advantage, you know. We handed Chelsea two easy goals as well, much like the United game. The learning can't be in vain, because much like we've seen with some players, you'll learn what you need to learn. It's all right, Arsenal, think I've done everything here now. Boom, I'm going to City or wherever I'm going. And he might sit there and go, well, I did that at Arsenal and that was the wrong thing. Let me do this. You know, it's like with these young players, there's no point developing young players for the sake of it. We're developing them evidently so we can have a more competitive side and make money and do what we need to do. I'm not with you with developing for the sake of developing. Like, let's be honest. There's a 3-year contract now. Next season, forgive me if I'm wrong, will be your 3rd full season. This is your squad. This is it now. Like, we've got to remember, this isn't under 10s football. This is reality is man need 3 points, really. And I know next season is gonna, Arteta's made a big song, and sometimes the one thing I don't like about Arteta, as much as I've got admiration, he acts like certain things are just exclusive to Arsenal. Injuries, a lot of things that comes with it, really and truly, just being a manager. The season starts earlier next season, so whatever knock-on effect that has for the transfer market, you lot should have been considering this from last summer. The season's going to cut off at some point in November as well. When it restarts, I don't know. So I don't know that's going to happen. Obviously, Arsenal are probably not going to be targeting players that are probably looking at World Cup places beyond the links, but you're going to have to consider that. You had, regardless of Champions League being gone, you cannot have sat there in the summer of last year and thought we're getting Champions League football. So the bulk of the targets that we're targeting now should still be the same way. You need to get it done. And we knew it was a volatile situation. Whether we've got Europa League, Champions League, no Europe, all of these things that have been a thing, you need to react. At some point, football, like life, is a results game. Life doesn't care how nice you are and things. You need to get things done. This is the reality. No one put a gun to anybody's head to either sign for this club as players or as manager. And these are the things we need to start moving into. You know, I like Arteta, but it's not Arteta or die for me. You know, you need to justify why you've got a 3-year deal. You need to justify, like, you've done a lot of good things, but let's be honest. Let's be very honest. There's been periods where managers have been sacked for less. You need to show why that isn't the case. You need to show why you've got all this backing and this PR and this potential and all of these things. And no one's asked you to win the league, but you need to start showing things. Much like the players, it always feels like a mixed bag. You need to start justifying things because it's Arsenal FC. You know, it's not Arteta or bust. We're all going to be, well, so I hope so. Some of you are going to be Arsenal fans long after Arteta's gone and all of these players and the rest of it. Unexpected high bills if you don't hit that like button. So Twitch gang, you lot are in fantastic form. Learning does mean future success. It's not always correlated. Again, here or elsewhere. It doesn't necessarily. You need to prove you're actually learning. I don't know why you're spamming, though, so you need to come out, man. There's no need to spam. He's brought us silverware. You know, that's how I'm saying. I like Arteta. There are some building blocks, but in the same way, we can sit here and say, yo, Xhaka is a good player, but he needs to improve at this, that, and the third. Why can't we say that? Well, I can definitely say whatever I want. Why can't I say that about Mikel? Because they're in the same boat. The young players, he's a young manager. He's going to make mistakes. He's discovering himself as a manager. We look at Vieira. I'm not going to lie. I weren't really with Vieira. Now, what he's doing at Palace, if Arteta left, I'm with it. I weren't really with Arteta, with bringing in Vieira. But when you look at it, you know, he must have learned positively and negatively from his knee spell and many other managers and things like that. So I do think Arteta has done some good things. But if I look at it harshly, should I really praise a manager for having a style of play allegedly, for playing the same players, for doing what managers should be doing? Stability is I don't know, but yeah, man. One of the things went, man. Why the hell's it gone? DG, you speak the most unbiased things, bro. I appreciate your opinion. I appreciate you staying here. I don't know about that, but I just saying what I feel, bro. Just saying what I feel. It is weird that negative people thought we wouldn't finish top 6 and are now upset we didn't get top 4. And the positive people thought we'd get 4th and are now happy we've got 5th. Because people don't understand that. It's, again, you need to be able to look at it. Like, am I vexed that we finished 5th? Not necessarily. When we look at what we could have done, of course I'm disappointed to not have Champions League. And we hope Norwich can do something. But there's a mixed bag, really and truly. You can't. The same people that were criticized saying we're getting relegated are saying that's bad, really and truly, man. It's a mixed bag, man. Doesn't matter if we're ready or not. Against Chelsea, they gave you 2 goals and a penalty. Paul, what Chelsea do is their business. Like, just like when we make mistakes, Spurs can't look at that. Newcastle can't look at that. They just got to take advantage of it. 0 leadership and 0 street smart individuals. I do think there's leadership. I do think we're lacking in street smartness, though. So, yeah, man. The amount of money we've lost over the years is criminal. Have to go back in it. Guendouzi and Saliba walk straight into this team. Ooh. Yeah, I hope so. Big up Roger. Big up DG and the community. I don't see Arsenal doing big business this summer. Bargain basement settings at best. ECL guaranteed yet no name signings, just cheap potential and the usual flirting. As I always say, I'll personally give the club the luxury until the end of the window. I'll always shut my mouth and just speculate until the end of the window. But if certain things, is Arteta out or in? Well, right now he's in, bro. But I do think there's just weirdos, man, who just attack Arteta or people that just praise anything. And I think neither are Arsenal fans. I think both are quite negative. I think there's toxic positivity and toxic negativity. Both are designed at escaping away from reality. For the negatives, misery loves company. For the positive, people are just the bars on the floor and people just like confirmation bias. There's both, and a lot of things are just not honest enough with yourselves. Just not honest at all, man. DG, do you see the season as a failure for not getting Champions League? Disappointed not to get it, but I wouldn't necessarily say failure. I wouldn't say failure. Since the point of top four has become a thing, till whenever the talk of top four becoming something, till now, that's failure. But in the grand scheme of things, disappointing, not necessarily failure. You know, I don't agree either with overachieved, really, you know, because if we probably were targeting top six, we finished there. That's not overachievement, really. And even at our worst, you know, we should be one of the fifth, sixth best teams. We had to try really hard to finish eighth, back-to-back eighth and whatnot. So mixed bag of stuff, really. Great comments, man. You lot are in top form. Fans are bare big are flip-flops, man. I think our goal should always be top four, but that's just me, minimum. DG talking some gospel. Not sure about that, but yeah. Thoughts on Darwin Núñez, physical presence, like him a lot, but myth, man. What are your 2022-23 goals? I'm not sure if you covered this before. Who, me or the club? The club, you need to get back in the big boy competition in Europe and just keep making the obvious improvements. FA Cup, want to go to the final as any Arsenal fan should, you know. Europa League, you need to get to the final, or it's a waste of time. You need to qualify via Europe. Now, if somehow next season, we got to remember it is top six now. There's 6 teams competing for places, and it's getting more competitive. We're not always going to get Europe, so I would give him the luxury of, I'd ask question marks, but without obviously skipping ahead next season, if you won the Europa League and didn't necessarily finish in the top 4, that might grant you an extended stay. For me, it's just about justifying. It's just about justifying the new deal on that now, you know. Saka's got a new deal. Saka's the new number 7. You know, Martinelli's gonna get a new deal and is the new number 11. Smith Rowe's got the 10. With that needs to come pressure. So is the manager any different? If you've been given a 3-year deal, if you've been given the most luxuries post Arsene Wenger, if other managers, whether at this club or elsewhere, have been sacked for less, you know, you need to justify that because it can't all be in vain. That's my biggest point. Like, it can't all be in vain. Now, when you look at the relationship, in my opinion, at Arsenal, it probably is of convenience because for whatever reason, we can't get them household name gaffers and things like that. And I think any serious manager, not saying Arteta isn't, they're not putting up with certain things that we're doing. Arteta has no clout in the footballing game. This is his first job, and he's probably less antagonizing on the board and in terms of his demands and all of that. So it's a relationship of mutual interest, in my opinion, beyond the obvious. So it's interesting, you know. Again, you lot know me. I only turned on Emre towards the end, and I'll turn on Arteta towards the end. Really and truly, I like what Arteta is doing, but I don't like it to the point where you've got to succeed. And just because I like some things doesn't mean I can't say if other things are shaky. Because if you can do that with the players, if you can do that with the owner, if you can do that with the technical director, why can't you do that about the gaffer? I do think whenever we're in such a weird place that people just attack Arteta, and then some people, and then to the point where you mention certain comments, there's problems. I'll get into transfers when I'm bloody ready, mate. Suck yourself. We can all be rude, you see, unnecessarily. Now we're all just looking at the thing on a mad one. I never understood why the fan base turned against Bellerin. Can you shit, bro? But at the same time, the players need to. I do think the manager can take you to the water. He can't help you drink. You know, you need to get yourself in that sort of headspace as well. The manager can. It's like a boxing coach. He can gas you. Once you get into the boxing ring, it's you against my man. You know, he can't duck the punches for you and whatnot. The players have to be able to respond to setbacks. Too many times. Well, I can't tell you too many times I've seen an Arsenal player do that. Or Arsenal players every 11. I can't say there's been too many times we've reacted to setbacks. Of course, you're going to do that on occasion. Let's get into the transfer news, people. Keep your opinions and whatnot coming. We're in top form, man. Who are you? Get a load of this guy? Who's this? Who are you? Arsenal need to stop buying nobodies. Nobodies need to stop coming. You taking Melo? Of course. It's all love, man. It's all love. Let's get into this. Where should we start? Let's start with the boring stuff. Let's start with Lokonga's agent/brother. Sambi Lokonga's brother adamant over Arsenal stay. His brother is adamant that it's not his agent, sorry. The midfielder, sorry, his brother is adamant that the midfielder wants to stay at Arsenal this summer and says a move is out the question. As you know, the 22-year-old ain't really played too much. Probably, but to be fair, he's probably played more than I expected. Started 12 times. I'm not worried about him. I don't know how good you'll become, but I think there's a player there. You need to start looking to your left and right and your shoulders, and you're still too raw for me and whatnot. Potentially could go out on loan, but I probably wouldn't do that. So yeah, man, it is what it is. I just think, and he's an example. Psychologically, I think you've been overruled at times, and I think at times you've looked unconfident. As much as football means the world to me, you can't be scared to make a mistake. You make a mistake, shit happens, innit? You go again, you ain't killed no one. You know, you've got to accept that, where there's sun, there's going to be rain, etc., etc. Big up, see, guys, let's get the likes over 300. We should be having 300 likes as well. They don't like me. They don't like me. They don't like me. But yeah, shout out to everyone who's hit that like button so far. We're not worried. Other players like Kevin De Bruyne or Lukaku have also taken time to establish themselves in the Premier League. The difference with the Belgian league is big, and Arsenal is not a mid-table club. We're not, but kind of are. We would have signed with both hands for a first season with 33% of playing time, and Albert is improving every day, especially in training. But the competition is tough with boys like Partey, Xhaka, El Nene, and the coach must respect a certain hierarchy. He has so much talent. Sometimes it seems so easy for him that maybe the coach expects more from him. He shouldn't rest on his abilities, and maybe he needs to show more in training. I'm not worried, neither is he. Leaving Arsenal out of the question, at least for him, he's very well integrated into the club and the city. He is happy, although he hopes to play more next season and his potential would deserve it. There will be European games. I've talked to him on the phone on Monday. He was disappointed because with defeat in Newcastle, the Champions League has moved away. Pardon me, but there will be Europa League, and he's positive about his season. Fair enough, man. Away from that, though, one player who is trying to angle for a move, Nicholas Pepe. I mean, I can't say anybody's surprised, really and truly, about such people. But allegedly, Nicholas Pepe wants to leave Arsenal this summer and hires a new agent to find him an alternative club after falling down the pecking order. If there was no AFCON, I think he would have angled to leave in January. You know, we know he signed a new agent because we spoke about it. But yeah, it's the beginning of the end, and definitely, I think you and Leno will quote unquote be two of the easiest moves, just because Leno has got a World Cup to consider. He's gonna force a move. You are probably gonna force a move because you should get your agents to do the job. And I can't blame you. And you probably need to leave. Nobody deserves to go to a workplace where they're not feeling comfortable and whatnot. So let's keep it. And has reportedly asked his agent to begin negotiations with other clubs. We all know it just hasn't worked out. He started 5 games this season, which hasn't worked out. He's got 1 goal and 1 assist in 19 domestic outings, not been allowed to build fluidity. To be honest with you, I can't really complain, although I think Pepe should have played a lot more. And I know we've bottled top 4 and we could have looked at him. The reality is, largely with you being on the peripheral things, we've done it in it, so I can have my opinion. But if Saka and these guys weren't performing across the course of the season, then I could sit there and say, yo, well, go on. But it's worked up until now, innit? Pepe has reportedly hired a new agent to help secure a move away from the Emirates this summer. He money could be towards the same, put in towards these alleged targets and Gab Jesus and Telemans. With no Champions League football, is that possible? I don't know, people. A few months ago, Edu said he's excited about the up to their current squad. I do think them words were taken slightly out of context, people, if I'm completely honest with you. But yeah, he said the budget we used last summer, we prefer to use it to rebalance the squad. There was no point in hiring 1 or 2 players in January. Really? Fair enough. The squad was not prepared to absorb 2 players. We needed to rebalance the squad. Maybe next season we go to 1 or 2 players. Today we find a much more balanced squad. Our planning has already been done. It has already reached the owners. It's a matter of step by step how we're going to finish the season and to put the about balance. I'm not too sure if there really is balance, because the midfield is volatile. Question marks over up front, probably question marks over defensive. So defensively, what's going on? So I do agree with what he's saying at face value, but the more I think about it, is our squad really balanced? subjective comment there. Apparently, Gabriel Jesus' future after £55 million demand from Manchester City. Arsenal are weighing up their options after being told Manchester City will demand £55 million from the North London side to sign Jesus this summer, according to sources of ESPN. Arsenal are in the market to sign at least one forward and have sounded out the 25-year-old over a possible move. Initial contact has now been made between the two clubs, and sources have told ESPN that Arsenal balked at City's valuation, given he only has 1 year left on his contract. Well, he's been linked with 5 other clubs, so we'll go there, innit? The amount is based on City's respect for the player, who has scored 95 goals in 235 appearances, probably because he's not got Lacazette goal scoring record anymore, and they want to recoup some of what they've paid. Apparently, Pepe said he would prefer to keep Jesus, but will not stand in the striker's way if he wishes to leave. People, we all know his agent has previously said he likes Arsenal's project, but also said 6 clubs are in the frame. People. So yeah, it is what it is there, people. Apparently, Arsenal have also made contact with Dybala's people. As we know, in relation to Arteta, Arteta's he likes Gabriel Jesus. Apparently, Arsenal are looking at other options, including Dybala. Well, I mean, yesterday Dybala was going to Roma, and now what one is it, people? Really, the longer his agent's allegedly in England, he's going to keep getting linked with Spurs, who he was linked with yesterday, United, who I don't even have to type his name, he probably is, and consistently with us. I like Dybala. I would take Dybala, of course, but he doesn't fix anything. Beyond the euphoria of him being a quality player, he's going to play false 9. I hear that, but we need a guy that's going to score goals. Or he's going to play Cam. Now, he can fight with Odegaard by all means, but once you get past the euphoria of signing a good player and getting gassed, yeah, man, it's not really that. But for what it is, allegedly Arsenal made contact with Dybala's reps to find out what personal terms the player is seeking. He's going to want the bag. Look at the age he's at now. Sources have told ESPN that a member of Dybala's entourage held meetings in London and Manchester before flying to Spain and Italy for similar conversations, as Dybala assembles his options before making a decision on his next club in the coming weeks. He's been linked with Inter, he's been linked with Newcastle, been linked with Man United, been linked with Roma, Arsenal and Spurs as well. So make of that what you will. Keeping up the Manchester City Gabriel Jesus stuff, Man City expect Arsenal target Gabriel Jesus to make transfer requests. Pep will not stand in his way, people, as he asks his permission to leave the club this summer. We're gonna have to see, people. It's a game of thingy. And to be fair to you, if they do get 50 million or 55, making a 15 to 20 million profit on a player with 1 year left, a player that's been part of what you lot are doing, a player you've tried to sell for the last 4 years, and you're recouping your P's considering the last year of his deal, it's crazy, man. I'm watching, sitting outside the hospital waiting for an Uber. That's dedication. How's it going, G? Danny, first things first, I hope you or your loved ones or whatever reason you're at the hospital, everything's going cushy, my guy. And yeah, it's going good, man. Life could be better, life could be worse, man. I'm blessed to have this platform with you lot, sharing my love of football across Twitch and YouTube. So yeah, I'm blessed, my dude, man. I hope everyone listening is also the same. 200 people have not hit the like button. We're at 177. There's 377. I wish you lot health, but I wish you lot unexpected high bills if you ain't done that. So yeah, man. Jesus. This Donny has said we're going back in for Arthur Melo. Cue the rumors of Juventus have flown over to England to offer us several players in exchange for Gabriel. The Arsenal comes back strongly for Arthur. The novelty compared to January is that the Gunners this time say they are ready to invest on the card. In the winter, they offered a 6-month loan. Juventus would like to broaden the discussion also to Gabriel. As you can see here, Juventus chief travels to London for talks with Arsenal over Gabriel, Arthur Melo, and Weston McKennie. Allow me, man. We don't need that. You definitely shouldn't be selling Gabriel to them. We can come to something for Arthur Melo. So yeah, he's travelled allegedly. Apparently Arsenal are demanding at least 50 million euros, 42.4 for the 24-year-old, in which we signed for 27 million. Juventus are also holding talks with Arsenal to discuss the prospect of some players heading the other way to North London. Mikel Arteta's side came close to signing Arthur Melo, much like coming close to top 4, close hype. There's no medals for coming close. If you come close to winning the match, you didn't win it. If you come close to winning a race, you didn't win the race. Come on now. Mikel Arteta's side came close to signing Arthur Melo in the January transfer window, and Juventus remain open to letting the Brazilian midfielder leave this summer. We've also seen recently his agent has said something, man. It is what it is. His agent said in January he was close to leaving and joining Arsenal. He's too important a player to be marginalized. He must also think about his situation with the national team. There's a World Cup in November. It's not in anyone's interest to continue in this situation. It's also claimed that Arsenal are also interested in Juventus's versatile midfielder Weston McKennie, while the Serie A club would also be open to a deal for Moise Kean, with the Gunners in the market for a new striker. Juventus are also considering a move for Thomas Partey, as they are keen to strengthen in central midfield ahead of next season. They're also looking at Milinkovic, Savic and Paul Pogba. So make of that what you will, people. Initial contact has now been made between Arsenal and Man City. Whether they pursue a deal for Jesus remains to be seen, but Arteta is a huge admirer. Arsenal will wait to see what European competition they qualify this weekend before deciding their next move. We shouldn't have. Well, we're not getting Champions League. I would love to be wrong. I'd love to get clipped up and somehow Norwich do the dirty and we get through it. But come on now. Like, we should have centered around our business around not getting Champions League. Of course, if we did get Champions League, you can open up the purse strings. But this don't make sense to me. But it is what it is, people. See what's going on here. I've got little interest in talking about Pepe again. We've been linked with Pepe. We've been linked with Umtiti. Arsenal face battle to tie Xhaka down to a new deal. Of course, City and that's going to want him. I mean, if they want him, let him do his thing. He has a year left, but he has an option. I mean, Xhaka, if you want to go to City, well, fair play. I can't blame you because you would learn a lot under Pep Guardiola. But there'd be a lot of pressure on you. Anyone who wants to leave, keep it moving, in it. Xhaka, I love him, probably my favorite player at the club, but I've seen Thierry Henry leave. So it is what it is. When you're stagnating as a club, I can't begrudge a player for wanting to go and do these things. When he's on England duty, they must be having conversations. So we'll see what happens, people. Just make sure you've got a plan. City once again are expecting the striker to leave with Gabriel Jesus. Our new kit's been released as well. Shout out to Xhaka with the rollie and that. Love to see the young ones getting some peace. This is probably our worst kit. I'm not going to cap people. I prefer our away kit and our third shirt, but it's calm. Aubameyang's retired from international football, prolonging his career. Arsenal are set to hand boss Mikel Arteta another huge transfer war chest. Despite missing out on Champions League qualification, apparently, there's going to be peas in it. Just show us, in it. Just show us. Let's talk. We've already spoke about that. Fabrizio Romano confirms Arsenal wanted big name striker in January, but now have another priority. We've already known this, but Arsenal are interested in Darwin Núñez in the January transfer window, which again, it don't make sense because there was no guarantee in January of getting Vlahovic or Darwin Núñez. So then again, I'm not saying I advocate spending 50 million on Gabriel Jesus or not, but it's not making sense really. It would have given you a push for Europe, but you was ready to commit that without knowing for sure that we're going to get Champions League. But now we're bulking at this 55 million. Again, we don't know what's going on in the club. I'm just trying to read between the lines, man. But it's not making sense, really and truly. Arsenal wanted him in January for sure, says Romano. He then went on to say a deal looks complicated. Darwin would like to play in the Champions League, while Arsenal are orientated on Gabriel Jesus as a priority for the striker position. So, boy, Gabriel Jesus, Darwin Núñez, all these guys, just make sure when the window closes, certain people have been brought in it. Again, we've spoken about Lokonga. Arsenal have a meeting scheduled with Bukayo Saka's agent at the end of the current season. The club are preparing a proposal for the contract extension. Saka is in love with Arsenal. Sometimes you've got to remove love and make the most calculated decision. I do think you could give us a next 18 months and just keep being important to the team. And then you're going to have to do the Grealish thing at Villa and spread your wings and keep it moving. There's always been a positive feeling, but negotiations are at an early stage. Says that. Umtiti set to leave Barcelona in the summer after injury-plagued season, with Arsenal interested in signing the French defender despite fitness concerns. Always linked with him. With Arsenal, you never actually know, but I don't think we're going to do up this one. Surely not, people. We do a lot of dumb stuff. This is foolishness, isn't it? Really. Umtiti is set to leave Barcelona in the summer and could be heading to Arsenal, according to reports. Yeah, I got little patience for this. It's a myth, man. It's a myth. Big up Saliba. Apparently, Arsenal target reveals he's taking English classes, dreaming of European move as club demand 25 million. I like this Danilo brother, but I don't. He's raw, man. It's like Lokonga vibes, really. Before going to Europe, you have to play your game. You have to play well for your current team. I think that if I keep working well in my team, I think I'll end up having more chances to fulfill my dream in Europe. Last year, everyone thought about it, but I ended up not leaving. I'm still in my right mind, working well. And if it's this season, let it be good for everyone. But if it's not, I'm still happy, and it doesn't matter. He's got a 25 million euro release clause, and yeah, he's taking English lessons, which is good for life. Apparently, player Arsenal signing this summer says he's ready for London move. Shout out Matt Ryan, but there's nothing to say there, is there? What's going on here? It's the same old. We've reached out to the Barla, Xhaka contract talks. Martinelli's our new number 11 for next season. We just spoke about Danilo. There's still optimism over Gabriel Jesus' contract. Apparently, Arsenal are set to compete with Jose Mourinho's Roma for the services of Bayern Leverkusen left back Piero Hincapié. I can't say his name, but the 20-year-old, sorry, he's quite decent from what I've seen. Like I don't know his strengths and weaknesses, but he does try to go forward, and that does look a modern day fullback. It could do a lot worse. And to be fair, Miss Lintat probably owes us a lot. Let me see what else is there in relation to Arsenal. Come on, man, lie to me, man, lie to me. What happened to Hossam Aouar? There's rumors that Hossam Aouar's could be going Leicester as a replacement for Telemans. What's this? That's some Leno stuff. Oh, shout out Daniel Kalula. He's to narrate Arsenal's prime doc. Good update. Good to him. Love to see the IC3 shining. Torreira was running bants. Obviously, Bellerin at some point is going to have to return. But yeah, Arsenal demanding at least 10 million to let player go. Price complicates the deal for interested side. I mean, you're taking a piss. 10 million for a player that's got a year left. 10 million euros. So that's what, 975 or something. You lot are buying it for Leno. You could do a lot worse. Come on now, people taking a piss. Benfica are interested in signing him, people. And Leno's got to play football, because you saw Kevin Trapp yesterday, you know. You saw Kevin Trapp yesterday. You've got Ter Stegen and obviously Neuer, who you're not getting ahead of at all, really and truly. You need to kick ball, really. But yeah, the signing is said to be a wish of the new Benfica manager. The German boss reportedly sees his compatriot as a potential number one keeper at the club, and to obviously fight for a place. Now, as the Eagles try to make the transfer possible, they know how hard it is to take Leno from Arsenal. It said the Gunners won't accept letting him leave for less than 10 million euros, and that complicates the deal. And apparently the article reports Benfica would only spend that much on a goalkeeper who'd arrive to be an immediate starter. Right? If you don't think he's going to be... Leno, if you're not going to be an immediate starter, you don't need to do that. Really and truly. So yeah, with that, I think that's all the rumors. We've covered them, innit? Like, what's the well, an hour and 13 transfer news. So it is what it is. 10 mil is fair, man. But again, to be honest, Arsenal was in a weak position of strength. You're gonna let money go out the door, so you would always try haggle in it. You get what you negotiate in that. What have you lot been saying? Because I was kind of just getting through that. Big up you lot tuning. Belgium, Yaya Toure, they said, that was company. We never said that. That was company. Company needs to get done for fraud. He changed it. And I don't think them comments helped. DG, don't you think we need like 2-3 very good midfielders? Yeah, but you know what I think and what I would like and what actually is going to happen and what you want, as you know, two very different realities, man. So it is what it is. The Conga needs a loan. Would you take Cucurella and Mitrovic? I take Cucurella. I'm not really keen on Mitrovic. Bring Rafinha to the carpet. Won't happen though, but brilliant player. Amen. Can't win the league with nice guys. All right, man. Listen, I appreciate that. Any other YouTubers, it don't just like, bro. If you know, just any what people saying, whatever, just let them, man. I'm not here to talk about next people. I know you're not either. I'm just saying that. Fuck them, innit? We know what we're doing. Woolwich should sign the whole of the Tottenham team. Look at this guy. Man said Woolwich. Hey, come on, man. We came all the way from South London and gave you lot titles, man. You lot won a battle. We've won the war still, man. You lot take our captain and win the league at our ground and we can talk. Matt, good sport, but I have to, man. Got nothing else in it. Trust, no family discount. Again, Arteta might not be rated because I can't get no family discount on Gab Jesus. You know, Pep Guardiola's giving 6 points to the scum down the road, even when they had Nuno. But hey, I don't know, 55 million for the 25-year-old Premier League proven striker at the top level, no brainer. I mean, we've done a lot worse. 55 million comes cheap. Pepe's Javinho 2.0. I'd take Jesus. Would he take you? Being a bit sour, man. Dybala is a good player, but it stinks of a Willian type situation. Dybala hasn't showed world-class football in like 2 years. DG, how do you find Teespring? Found them pretty poor. Poor with what? Is what it is. Just subscribed and hit the like button. Big up you, man. Hope you're doing well, eh? Man said, whatever reason you're at hospital, you were bantering me for a good 20 minutes because I can't walk for 4 weeks. It's all entertainment, boy, and you were sending for me. It's all entertainment. Shout out to you, man. But you sending for me. You can't send for me. I hope you got your granny buggy, man. Big up to you. It's nice to see you here, man. I mean, selling Gabriel, we're just putting more holes in our team, innit, really? Because now you have to find another centre back, and everyone's gonna know that you need another centre back, and people don't want to let go of good players. Yep, not feeling positive about the future outlook of this club. Would be nice to at least see the off-field management improve with early window decisiveness. What's happening with Torreira? You're gonna have to see, innit? If I had to make an educated guess, what? You've got a year left on your deal. You've been quite good at Fiorentina. Writings on the wall. It's probably never been a better time to move on. You're comfortable in Italy as well. There was a big song and dance about off field with Torreira, so that's that, innit? Same people turning down the Barla want an Eddie deal. People need to realize this ain't FIFA. You don't flash funds and land who you want. Players got power now, so you got to find that middle ground between 1-2 luxury players and the rest bang average till Champions League comes. Why do I have the feeling that Saliba really doesn't want to come back? Everything he said so implied this, I think. I mean, at this point, as I said, if whoever wants to stay, stay. Whoever wants to go, go. You're all free to live life how you want, man. Maybe we snatch up Richarlison. Looks like a good replacement for Lacazette. I mean, we could do a lot worse. Not really keen on it, but I could get behind it, I guess. Really and truly. I can't blame if Xhaka leaves. Xhaka can't leave. If he goes, man. Is what it is, man. There's a lot wrong with the club, so I don't like. Obviously, definitely don't want the good players to leave, but it is what it is, man. If you want to cut. If you want to stay. Simple as that. I can't begrudge anyone. Just do what you're doing, innit? The biggest issues are the ownership. Seriously spending monies on banners stating Kroenke's out instead of buying merchandise and renewal of season tickets. Oh, yes, the buying of merchandise and season tickets, that's going to make a difference. We can stomp our feet and have our opinions. Reality is the manager's been given a new deal. The owners are not going to stop what they're doing, I'm not saying anyone let the Kroenkes go away, but none of this was really being said while we was winning. And to be fair to you, is this season's alleged failure? As I said, finishing in August 5th would have been okay, but is Arsenal's alleged failure this season on the Kroenkes? I don't know. Historically, maybe since they've walked in, but is this season achieving results or not? Is it on them? I don't know, and I'm by no means defending them. But what I would say is, if you're doing that, please if you're asking people to do that, Mr. Ferro or whatever, please make sure that you're not buying merchandise, you ain't got a season ticket, and you're spending your peas on banners and that. Practice what we preach. Every now and again, I get this. You need to be leading the protests and all of this. What the fuck do you want me to do, blood? Like, man's not going to sit here. When you see people outside preaching the word of God and whatnot outside the train stations and that. Come on, if Kroenke's in, think about it. If I'm the owner of Arsenal like Kroenke, and I don't give a shit what you lot think, and you're shouting outside my stadium, I'm just going to shut the window, blood. You're gonna have to go home eventually. I'm not saying, listen, people are free to do what they want, whether they want to. You get it? I'm not saying don't protest, don't do what you're doing, but like, what's that gonna do? And if you're asking people to do that, make sure you're doing that. But here we are, using the internet. I like Arteta, but he's definitely skating on thin ice at the moment. Arteta is definitely privileged that Arsenal. Unai Emery got rubbed out for only losing 3 Premier League games up the end. Do you know what, boy? He's stopped getting bums on seats in the stadium. I don't think Arteta arguably there's been more togetherness. This is why we need you, DG, in those Arsenal press conference room. 100% faith you'd ask the right questions. I appreciate that, Rochelle. That's probably why not. Really. That's probably why I wouldn't be there. Do you think we should potentially be able to loan young? I've said I think football's going to be like that. Managers will go on loan one day. So, yeah, man. Too many of these Arteta in people are very biased for some reason. It's cultish, man. In and out. I do hear you, but what are the main points Arteta needs to improve? Bro, I would say the team first and foremost. What if you left tomorrow? What is the team? Not the inner intricacies of the team, the building blocks. What is this? What is the team? It's not an attack. I don't know what Arsenal is. I see a bunch of young players and cool, but we're not great attacking. It's not a mad defensive thing. What is the team? So I would say the identity, Arteta's identity. Arteta's Arsenal identity, not what I want Arsenal to be. I don't know what it is. I would say sometimes I think he retains faith in players that don't deserve it. I'd say man management, especially when we look at Aubameyang, can get better. And I would say manage the fixture calendar, because I think at times he's unnecessarily bottled. I don't understand the Brighton game. I don't understand the Burnley game. I don't understand Crystal Palace at home, let alone the away one. There's several times where I think sometimes the manager's fucked it. Sometimes the players have fucked it. Collectively, we're all in this together, innit? Like, no one, if we got Champions League, I know people probably would have, but it's not just an Arteta thing. If players are doing Kalam things, can I really get at them? If the manager's telling you to do something and you're doing it, then I have to look at the manager. If the manager's told you to do something and you're not doing it, I can't really, you get it. So we're all in this together. Everyone has to hold their licks. Say, other than that, well, it is what it is. But as you know, we're a mixed bag as a club. This is why sometimes we're doing all right, and now we crumbled in it. What more can I say, mate? EG, between Telemans, Melo, and Aouar, who do you think is the best game controller? Probably Arthur Melo, probably. In terms of, you ask me, just retaining the ball, trying to dictate the tempo, I would say, I think Telemans could learn to do that a lot better, and I'd say Aouar can do it, but he does it. He's a bit hot and cold with it. So at that particular aspect, I'd say that, man. Every season, we always have the same talking points. In isolation, we made some improvements, but overall, we've still, to be honest, the process is slow. KSC is not serious, in my opinion. Trust. Bro, Arteta will be here for our 21-year, waiting to win bigger trophies or in better shape to be in the top 3. One thing I don't like with Arteta is that he doesn't give any confidence to squad players. Like Xhaka burns out and he wonders why Pepe can't... That's a lie, I think. That's a lie. I know I'm going to say 2 names that are probably good. People are going to be like, what are you talking about? But he gave faith to Cedric. And there was a time Arsenal fans sat here in a little period in the season, said we don't need a backup right back. Holding was atrocious against Spurs. They all loved him for stepping in against West Ham, etc. El Nene, it's all new deal talk. Lacazette was a side when he's come back in. At times he's retained faith in Tavares. So I do think there are reasons to criticize, but I don't think that's true necessarily. And at the same time, players have to remain confident in themselves. It's impossible to keep everybody happy at a football club. And I do think in comparison to last season or previously, I think Arteta's done better at that. Still not good enough. Still not saying he's free from criticism, but you get the point. Or at least I hope you do. If we don't win Europa next season, I'd say Arteta's time is done, even if we win and finish 8th, to be honest. To be fair, if you don't get top 4, you should be gone. As I said, you're going to live or die for me, the league position and Europa League. For me, I'd say first priority, the league position. You don't finish 4th, that's where I'm looking at. You get to the final, I'll cut you a bit of slack. I want you to win it, but anything can happen in the final. You need to get to the Europa League final. You need to get to you need to qualify as high as you can in terms of the league positions. I can't lie, I'm an Arsenal man, and I think even though he's won it a couple of times, you throughout your tenure here, when we went out to Southampton, and I know injuries didn't help us this season that's finishing, but I think you're kind of disrespecting as we're trying to create something for these young players. I want us to win trophies quickly. Arteta's got an FA Cup. I swear one of the first trophies Klopp won was the League Cup. I might be capping, so I want to do that, but I'm not really on to you for that. So I would say really it's Europa and the league. I want to go to the FA Cup fight. Well, all cups I want to go to the finals. 2 of the 3 that we'll be competing in. You really need to get there. For me, you need to get fourth in it. Like, if you're not getting, because then after that, then there's nothing. You need to keep moving. DG leading the pro. Brother, what the man want me to do, blood? Like, what am I meant to do, cuz? Like, serious. Like, what am I meant to do, man? People thought Josh Kroenke was different. This fan, but bro, his last name, innit? I don't want to hold you accountable for the sins of your father, but you're on the Jesse March thing, just gas up nonsense. They probably are unfit. Saka's been overplayed. As poor as Ben White was, we all know he came into that game with Newcastle with injury issues. Gabriel the same, Tomiyasu same. So squad management needs to improve. The rehabilitation. Don't know what's happened with Tomiyasu. Don't know what's happened with Partey since he's been here. Tierney's a bit of a flight risk. Again, there's stuff we need to learn from, innit? Again, we can splash the cash, but I just want Dons to buy correctly, man. All or nothing's going to be so dead. No, I don't think so. Definitely not if you're a rival fan, innit? I genuinely believe Arsenal players are tuned in too much to social media and platforms like AFTV. They aren't mentally built to withstand the online thing. Do you think guys like Henry would be faced? To be fair, who are AFTV to? Respectfully, to AFTV or anyone that does YouTube, I hear it. It's irrelevant. When you was playing well, it wasn't because of AFTV. When you're playing badly, it's not because of them. Respectfully, all that, of course, the fans' opinions matter. But if we listen to fans' opinions, we would have got relegated in August, and you lot wouldn't have got into this top 4 debate. So it's irrelevant. All that matters is the manager. The manager's the one picking the team. I don't matter. You don't matter. Beyond the obvious, the manager. If the world thinks you're shit and the manager thinks you're good, football's a game of opinions. His opinion takes precedent because he's the one playing and has to justify it. Now, whether him playing you makes you succeed or not's another thing. It's irrelevant. Turn it off. Control what you see. Of course, social media pressure, and we've seen many examples, is ridiculous. But I don't sit there and think Arsenal are thinking, oh, AFTV, what are they thinking? Who gives a crap? Fans are fickle, bro. El Nene, new deal. It stinks up the place. No new deal. It's irrelevant. Do I think they tune in? Probably. I don't know why people have a narrow thing. I can only be accountable of myself. I always say on my channel, I don't tell you what to think. I just tell you to think. Stadium vlog. I mean, when I go to games, I like to watch the games. If anything, when I used to do them, when I go to the games before, halftime and after, nothing against it, but I'm not been one of the. I just want to watch the game. I'm not them dons where we scored and I'm gonna do all of that and all the mad stuff, man. He does, but respectfully, whether Xhaka does or doesn't, they slated him. We've all seen the images when they see him when they saw him, they asked for pictures in that. So it is what it is, and Xhaka has a lot of support within the Arsenal fan base. Obviously, we're kind of at where we're at with Xhaka, and I won't quite say relations have been mended, but you've seen, his pictures in the car with things and whatnot. Bro, all that matters is Arsenal, innit? Like AFTV or any YouTube thing is not speaking for Arsenal fans. They might be Arsenal fans speaking for themselves, and it is just one small section of a global fan base. So it is what it is. People are gonna love you, then hate you, then love you. Just be accountable, innit? As long as you can go to bed knowing you gave your best, that's all I ask for anyways. I always ask, because that's all I ask for myself. If I don't achieve something or I achieve something, as long as I know I've given it my all in my conscience, that's it. That's all I ask for these players. And I know that hasn't been the case in the last 2 games. That's why I'm on to you lot. If you lot gave it your all and you lost to Liverpool, and I mean, I'm not Liverpool, Newcastle and Spurs, what can I say? That happens with football. When you cheat yourselves now and you do fickle things and you're making the same mistakes, this is when I'm like, whoa, what's happening here, sort of thing. I told you, lot. Again, I don't want to be I told you so, but this is it, bro. Like, this one game a week, this not being in Europe will give us up. It's all bullshit. When you actually break it down, people don't. I'm not being funny, but the people understand what football is. The people understand the 38 game calendar. The people understand that there's still going to be injuries. The people don't understand that we're Arsenal fans. We know how this script goes. We should be over prepared, not under prepared. If anything, we should have too many players, than too little. I do like how we've got a smaller squad. There's a bit more togetherness. There's been good examples, but fundamentally, you play stupid games. Eventually, you're going to win stupid prizes, aren't you? There's no way around it, unfortunately. And we have. Surely the only way to know a team is at their worst. Everyone's sitting there now and saying, oh, but we never had Partey and Dini and this. And that's true. But somehow we won against United, Man United, West Ham United, and Chelsea without the... Obviously, do I think we fundamentally Thomas Partey or Kieran Tierney? To a slight degree, but no. Like, there was definitely enough to show a lot more. Worse teams have asked questions of these teams, really. Or worse technical players. Football is about a lot more than ability. And I do think with Arsenal fans, people really discount how mental the game is. If you ain't got it upstairs, it's a myth. I can't lie, in the grand scheme of things, come on now. I don't think they give a fuck about that. I hear it though. DG 1 year loan to replace Tavares. Boy, when I don't defend. Listen, RIP Claude, please. Honestly, I don't give a shit about AFTV. Big up Robbie, because I got nothing but love for Robbie and a couple people on there, but this is my channel. We're talking about Arsenal. I care about the club more. It's Arsenal FC. It's not AFTV FC. I don't give a shit about what they're doing or not doing, respectfully. Please, let's just talk Arsenal. Any problems with them, take it up with them. Any question marks with them, take it up with them in the club. DG, don't give a shit. Respectfully. RIP Claude a million times. Cool guy, man. Like, as an older head, we used to sit there. He would tell me, like, him and Lee sometimes they'll be there, like, oh, and this did and Arsenal did this. Like, it's like going through memory lane, man. Like, RIP Claude, man, every time. Hopefully, he's smiling in a good place somewhere, man. I'm glad I tuned in. Always a level-headed opinion. Bigger things to come. I'm sure. I appreciate that. Don't know about that. I can only be myself, man. Forever you're not so deluded, you are deluded. Ironically, that's opinions, isn't it? Like we just said with Arsenal players, you just have to keep going, bro. People gonna love you, then hate you, then love you the next day. Do you know when I learned that? Boy, my old videos about when I was talking about Lacazette. Do you know how much man used to try fight me for my opinions with Lacazette? They'd be like, oh, we're gonna sit here one day and he's gonna have 20 league goals. No disrespect, Lacazette, but all right. In an Arsenal shirt, yeah, trust. Yeah, I think Arteta lacked bottle at this end. I think he got too emotional with the Spurs game, and I think our players succumbed to the pressure of the away crowd and the magnitude of the game and the whole focusing on, yeah, it was a cup final. Yeah, if we won that game, we'd be in the top 4, but you needed to play the game, not the occasion. I think we got a bit excited. I think the players done Arteta. The players were shit. Arteta was doing booky things, but I think the players didn't react, and I think they done Arteta a bit dirty because, again, he came out with the fighting talk against Newcastle and then they were doing the pussycat thing, innit? So, yeah, man, it is what it is. Oh, man are praising people for working hard, cuz. This guy, Leighton, shut up, man. You better stop that bullshit, man. Don't like the way Arteta is burning out Xhaka. It's true, but at the same time, even though I agree and the rotation could be a thing, bro, Saka's a key point as to why we're at where we're at. And can I blame a manager? In good times, you can change the thing, but when things are going shaky, or can I blame a manager for playing one of his better players? Not necessarily, really and truly. Just came in to drop a like, make sure the community is good. And DG, big up yourself. We love what you do. I love you a lot more, man. Thank you very much. I don't think we can win the Europa next year. There'll be some time. Well, brother, like, There's going to be tough teams in Champions League, in Europa League. Teams are going to get better in the Prem. What are we going to do? Welcome competition or act like some bitches? Like, it is what it is. We don't know who's going to drop down from the Champions League. Knowing us, it's not going to be a little Rangers Frankfurt final. Somehow, Real Madrid are probably, or Liverpool are going to win the Champions League and drop out of that. It's crazy, man. Trust, within 6 months, we signed Aubameyang. Big up Lacazette, that's my guy, but still. Is what it is, man. Oh, people can have their opinions just like that, but like take it with AFTV. You know, like, bro, I don't get paid by Robbie. I don't work for Robbie. I don't give a shit. Like, shoot the fuck, pick up the platform and what people are doing. I don't give a shit about it. Like, I support Arsenal, bro. Like, I want to talk Arsenal and football with you. Like, I don't give a flying monkeys about that. Trust. Somehow, the wickedest thing is somehow Lacazette and these couple rub-dons are gonna end up in Champions League, innit? You'd have to ask the light-skinned Curtis Shaw, man. Do you think we should keep Maitland-Niles? Probably for him, he needs to keep it moving. Good question. Smith Rowe or Martinelli, who has the longer Arsenal career? Smith Rowe. Probably need to sell him, man. There's too much like love dramas at this club. There's a lot of players who are 1 foot out the door, then 1 foot in, then 1 foot out, then 1 foot in. Half of the team, Xhaka, El Nene, Lacazette. If we had 10 games left of the season and Pepe played 5 of them and played well, the narrative changes. Cedric, Pablo Marie, Nuno Tavares probably in that now, really. It's a myth, man. I think 10, long-term 8. Bassi had a very good game yesterday. She got shagged, man. I'm from Italy. I'm a supporter of Juventus. It's Arsenal. It's real Arsenal still want Arthur. I don't know, but there seems to be something. His agent was at London Coley. Exactly, bro. Because them players there control their emotions or they use it in the right way. Fuck is that? I don't know. We got to the semi with the worst squad last season. So go one better. Players bottled it. Manager overcomplicating tactics that day as well. Smith Rowe, false 9. Why? You'd have to ask me, Mikel Arteta, why we did that, but fair enough. Name the dead weight of Arsenal in your opinion. Half the squad, really. Like a couple of the guys I think are good guys, and I know you need a couple squad players, but half of them, innit? Lacazette, like Marie, Cedric, Sly, and then I can't lie, good guy, good for the squad, but let's be real. That I think Tavares now. Hope he can turn a corner. Leno by default, because he wants to leave. All them dons on loan, with the exception of a couple. You know the name, man. You know the players, bro. You know the players. I hear that. Can we really be surprised we didn't get top 4 when we're relying on so many players who won't be here to see the end goal? It's a good question. Very thought-provoking one there, innit? And one I can't answer. But shout out to Ainsley. He's coaching on the bench in Italy, probably buying some designer clothes and learning from Jose, and probably end up with a trophy, innit? I made the best man win between Maitland and Nelson, but I just think it's a step too much for Feyenoord. So, yeah. Hope Pookie does a masterclass. I don't know why you man don't appreciate it. He's calm for the squad, bro, but like people are only saying this really off the back of there's been injuries. Shout out on any, but I mean, could Arsenal be in the top 3 next season? Anything's possible in life, but I can't predict the future. And if I go off what we're seeing, no, maybe if Arsenal fans shut the hell up about 3rd when we're 4th and we just focus on what we're doing, maybe. But boy, I don't know. I don't know, man. I hope Pookie does do a managerial masterclass. I do. And what's the time? I'll probably be online at 4:30 to play Football Manager Twitch gang or 4-ish or something like that. I would watch. I don't really feel like doing a watch along for Crystal Palace Everton. I'll be real with you, so I probably won't. I'm getting a bit hungry, people. I'm looking at this orange. I prefer chicken and rice, really. So I'm going to go eat that, people. But on that note, Sorry for the delayed time. It's been a fantastic watch along with you lot. I said watch along, bit of live content in relation to watch alongs. Obviously, Twitch and YouTube, hit the like button if you haven't, and this live stream will take you to such. Arsenal versus Everton, the last one of the week, and also the last one of the season. It's been a fantastic, fantastic season, subjective, but it's been a fantastic season talking about football on Twitch and YouTube, Arsenal live streams or not with you lot, and it's coming to an end. So as usual, I just want to thank you lot for your consistent support, people. Without you lot, the channel would be dead. Please make sure you're subscribing on both platforms. Make sure you've hit the like button and that. Obviously, you know what's already the case tomorrow, innit? 10 a.m., 11:30, and so on and so forth. We go again, people. You lot stay blessed, stay safe. Apologies for the delayed show today. We'll get back to normal procedures tomorrow. So yeah, I think actually I should have Statman Baines on Twitch at about 2ish or something tomorrow as well. So yeah, man, you lot stay care. You lot take care, man. Not sure I'm ready for no football. But I am not. I mean, I don't know what to do with myself when there's no football. But at the same time, the last couple games, I'll be happy to see the back of Arsenal, isn't it? You know, it was all good a few weeks ago, but such is Arsenal, man. When the sun's shining, you've got to enjoy it. You know, you've got to enjoy it and know that it's gonna rain one day, man. You just got to do the vibes thing, innit? But on that note, you lot stay blessed, stay safe, man. I'm out. God bless you all.
There's always just that active red flag defending. I think it's like.